for this one. I don't know. I don't know. I think they were the 4 strongest songs that we had. You know, we've been writing a long time, and we'd effectively whittled them down to 4 songs that we felt were the strongest songs to put an EP up with. Simple as that, really.
It's a snapshot of where we're at. Like Chainsaw is about as poppy as we get. Lights Out is about as unpoppy as we get, and the others kind of like float along in the middle, like the sandwich filling, to show that we're not just 2 bits of bread. We've also got tasty bits.
Do you find it easy to cut the other songs out then?
Yeah.
Okay. Who did you use in the end to produce the EP?
We went with Captain Carl Bevan. We did the Science Bastard EP, and he did a cracking job on that. And we sort of blindly went in really and said, you know, I sort of arranged it and said, you know, boys, we're gonna do this, and it was like, yep, let's do it. And luckily, it turned out better than anything I think we could have expected, to be honest with him.
Yeah, it's weird that not many people know about him. I think he's getting like a little bit of press now and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to make a straightforward, commercial sounding rock record, don't touch him with the barge pole. Seriously, he's a bit tapped. If you want to do something with a bit of artistic vision, and you're also not afraid of having the producer actually say, what do you think about trying this, or what about this sound, and give him a bit of free rein, then Carl's your boy. He's right on our wavelength with sort of like experimenting in the studio and seeing what works best.
What studio was it?
I believe we actually are not allowed to say. I think Tasty Bone Studio was the name we went down in the EP. But we if you want to record with Carl,
give us a shout. I've hooked him up with a couple of sessions recently.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's doing it kind of under the radar, as it were.
Yeah.
His studio breaks nearly every health and safety regulation there is. It's illegal in about 100 different ways, financially, health and safety, mentally.
It's the perfect.
It's perfect. It's great
to make a rock record, but you've got to go down there with a screw or two loose, because if you go down there with all your sanity intact, there's a good chance that you will fall apart.
Look ahead then. Are you currently working on a full album or taking time off for the summer?
No time off.
No.
We're like practicing like usually twice a week to get like sort of about 15 or 16 tracks together for the album, so we can choose the best 12 or so.
Yeah.
So we're constantly in the studio writing for an album that we should be recording start of September, hopefully, as soon as Carl gets back to us. That's another thing with working with Carl. He disappears for months on end.
Jesus.
God knows what he's up to. But yes, we are working towards our album. We want to get that out as soon as possible.
Can we expect any older tracks already written on it, or is it just all fresh material?
This stuff has been in the set. It's like we've pretty much road tested everything live apart from the last couple of songs we've written. So it's going to be hard for people to sort of think that it's like basically because I don't know the best way to put it. If you catch us live, because we do try and keep as busy as possible live, the songs will sound familiar. But apart from like very rough demo versions which we haven't made sort of like the public haven't been able to get their hands on them, it'll be like picking up a new album. 2 of the songs off the EP are not going on the album, so it should be.
There'll be at least like sort of 10 or 11 new songs on there, probably 5 or 6 of which no one will have heard even, because we're going to be writing some over the next few months.
When you're writing, is it you constantly thinking about it wherever you go? Is it spur of the moment, or are you more influenced when you're all together?
It's all about the feel of like writing a song isn't necessarily a mentally, get from point A to point B. It's sort of just the way we are feeling that day comes out in the song, and if it's good, keep it. Don't sort of try and saturate it at all, just keep it as it is. Maybe you need to, you know, sometimes you have to do bits and bobs to it, but basically it's about not over editing your stuff. Just keep it raw, like keep it, you know, whatever emotion sort of come out into the song. Just that's the song. That's it.
Yeah, just we've learned recently not to second guess ourselves. We're not over editing what we do and stuff, so yeah, we're trying a few different techniques in writing, but I think generally it's just us three in a room making a hell of a lot of racket, and if we all start laughing after we finish something, it either means that it's just ridiculously bad or it's one of the best things we've ever heard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we know if it's going to be a good song or if it's going to be thrown away after about 10 minutes of playing it.
Yeah.
You can tell straight away. And most of the songs we've got, like our strongest songs anyway, have sort of been written in like
very short time.
one practice, you know, or one session. So you know straight away what feels good to you and what feels good to each other, really.
Yeah.
You seem like to have a band that like no rugged and raw recordings, especially on demos you upload to MySpace, and so whether that's your budget preference. When you commit to record the full album, will you take a typical route most bands do and go for more radio-worthy produced album, or will you keep it more raw and even more experimental?
That's a hard sort of. That's a good question.
I think, yeah, 'cause I think fundamentally we're not shying away from commercialism, I suppose. But it is just being sort of clever to the point where the facets of the recording, what can we make as dirty as possible, and then the things that we balance off with something that's crisp. It doesn't have to all necessarily sound like as if we're doing something, you know, you could, like the one way of going is everything could be in the red. It sound like the Iggy produced Raw Power, where everything is clipped into pieces, something like that. But it's a case of we would like to get some of the songs on the radio, so we wouldn't want you know a few songs. you wouldn't want a few. You wouldn't want it to be a fractured album in terms of some songs where the production's completely out the window, mental, and then the other songs are really pulled back. So it's just a case of, I think, finding a happy medium somewhere along the line where it's dirty enough for us.
Plus, we know which songs are going to get radio play.
Yeah.
Like, we've got songs that are sort of set to a sort of pop structure. They've got like the middle eight where it should be, and you know, we like sort of adhere to classic song structures. Yeah, in certain songs that we do, and they're obviously the ones that we're naturally going to feel that we want to be more produced, more sort of pop friendly, like radio friendly. Then we've got other songs that are absolutely backwards and shouldn't work, and it's an absolute hideous mess. So we'll probably be more inclined to produce them as such. Have a bit more fun on those ones, because otherwise you just end up with an album that's like that. And I don't think we want an album like that.
I don't think it's about sort of the dividing as well. Then the dividing people who are listening to it. Do they think you've produced it as a, you know, in a pop sort of sensibility? You know, some people will think you're doing that just to get it on the radio, or the opposite way. You know, if you produced it quite raw, are they thinking, oh, you're trying to be one of these like really raw, aggressive bands? Where it's just all about keeping ourselves happy, really, wherever we are happy with. It's not about producing to a certain, you know,
I think
it's
the delivery of everything will sort of, I think, really determine in the end. Because if there's like a really sort of poppy song and then a fuck pops up in the middle of it, you sort of like.
And overriding all of this is the fact that when we're doing the mixing, Carl might have had an extremely heavy night the night before and come in with a head full of acid, and you don't know what you're going to get. And that's God's honest truth. We can only plan it to a certain extent. We don't know what the hell he's going to be up to while we're doing it.
It could be an absolute
soggy mess, in which case we'll just bug him the next day to not take as much drugs.